Welcome to this LEX18 Digital Conversation. I'm Davidson. Sunday, of course, is Father's Day, and there is an exciting event scheduled this Saturday in Lexington to help celebrate fathers, help provide support and mentoring for them and the families that depend on them. Joining me now, David Kozar. He's director of the Fatherhood Initiative. Welcome.
Thank you.
Fatherhood.
Yes.
Hardest job you ever loved, huh?
Yeah, it can be difficult.
It can be.
It can be difficult, and
So talk to us a little bit about the Fatherhood Initiative. You guys have been around for 15 years, grinding, churning, and burning.
Yeah.
What's going on?
So the event has been around 15 years. I've been in the work probably 20 or more since I have 21-year-old children. So
Okay.
I've been in it personally that long, but this event's been around 15, and we actually have a full service program at the Lexington Leadership Foundation, and we've had that for 7 years. And so.
But you guys, you put on these tough exteriors, but really you're just gentle giants, that's what I like to say, and sometimes unwilling to ask for help when you need it. So how do you get these gentle giants who want to do the right thing? Because it's not that they don't want to, but they just don't maybe have the equipment or equipped to know how to get from point A to point B. How do you reach them? How do you pull it out of them, and how do you turn things around?
Yeah, I appreciate that question, and appreciate your acknowledgement that fathers want to, because quite frankly, that's part of the narrative that we really need to change. Many might think or perceive that fathers attempt to elude that responsibility, when I really believe that there's a paternal instinct that can be as strong as the maternal instincts, which you know of, right?
Yes.
And so how do you do it? I think you create the space. You acknowledge and affirm men, and part of that tough exterior and part of the perhaps myth is that men will not talk, men will not communicate. What we found in our programming is when you create that safe space, when you put men together in a space and they're given license to do that, and confidentiality is there and peer support is there, and it only takes one small prompter and there they go, they share. And so I think giving the space and acknowledging is part of it.
Oh, sure. And then that transfers it back into the home with their spouse or with their partner to help build that strong unit for the children, whether they are together or whether they're living separate, keeping, I guess, the children in the forefront, right?
Absolutely. When we do our work, we are teaching transferable skills. We do responsible fatherhood cohorts of 10 to 20 men at a time. And what we do in that classroom or that workshop or in the jail, wherever we're at, everything we do there, we want to transfer back to the home. And so as we help them to be able to communicate together, we say, now go back and hopefully do that with your children, And you don't look down upon those small things. It's interesting what children remember, and it could be some very small things. So
they have a long memory, don't they?
They absolutely do,
really
and not necessarily of the things that we think they're remembering.
Right, and that's why words are so powerful and so meaningful. Let's talk a little bit about the event that you have set for Saturday. It starts, of course, putting the father first.
That's right. So my tagline on my emails is promoting the father. So there's a little double intent there, of course. Right. And so we will start the day off with a prayer breakfast, that divine intervention that all parents need, mamas and daddies, right? In today's very busy world for our children. So we feel like that component is first and foremost, quite frankly. And so we'll have a prayer breakfast at First African. Speakers this year are Pastor Marvin King out of Winchester, and Sam Mitchell, who is the CEO of Valvoline, but a strong man and a father and an advocate for fathers. And we'll do that, eat some biscuits and gravy, and then we'll try to walk that off. We'll march from First African, which is proximal to Douglas Park.
Right.
So we'll march to Douglas Park. That'll begin at 10:30. And so we'll be registering all morning. Folks will get a T-shirt if they march. All will get a T-shirt that march. Then we go to the park, and about 11 o'clock, we'll light there, and we'll be there from 11 to 4. There will be entertainment. We'll feed. There will be games, family games, bouncies, face painting, all the festive things and fun stuff. But we'll also have upwards of 30 different resources for fathers and families to help address housing and health and financial literacy. Park Community Bank will be one of our partners that day. So lots of resources there as well.
Yeah, because a lot of times it's just knowing who or where to go, and sometimes that can kind of get lost in the conversation, and people get frustrated.
Yeah.
And kind of start to lose their way. What do you think is the biggest issue that you're seeing with fathers, and we're talking about young men and all the way to men your age and even older who are in the fight?
Yeah.
What seems to be the biggest issue that fathers in general are faced with these days? Is it unemployment, underemployment? Is it dealing in this tech-savvy world and understanding our kids and monitoring them and being able to parent them through that? What are some of the things that you think are?
Yeah, so clearly you have an idea of the condition. You'll hear, I could be heard saying at different times, I dislike the term deadbeat dads. There's some dead broke dads, right? And dead broke financially, so the employment's a challenge. Some are dead broke emotionally, and so there are mental health issues that men deal with, and that's not something that is always appropriate, we feel, to talk about. Sure. There's men that are dead broke spiritually, and so those are, related to the issues I think are large: employment, emotional, mental, spiritual health.
Well, what can the women who love them, who care about them, what can we do to help and support our men who are the fathers of our children and our futures?
Yeah. Understand that loving and caring for them means loving and caring for them in a way that is conducive, right? And so giving them that space to be able to communicate and identifying those growth opportunities and gently pointing those out.
Right.
Understanding that the broker that the woman is, that the mother is, that the woman in the family is. And so I always say that any good fatherhood program, any good fatherhood project, any good fatherhood initiative is going to absolutely early and often address the importance of the mother of the baby, trying to dispel that language of baby mama. I don't like it. Right. And baby daddy. I don't like that either. So understanding just the gravitas of your position in that relationship, particularly if the mother of the child and the father of the child are not necessarily together physically or still in relationship. Right. Let's be honest, that's frequent. Right. There are children out of wedlock, there are divorces. And so when co-parenting, understand that the child needs to be the center of our movement and the center of our attention, and our relationship as grown folks is really contingent upon that. And so being able to navigate that as, the mother of the child with the father of the child, I think are some very important things.
And recognizing that investing in that individual pays dividends. Absolutely. Helping our child, because that's their role model. That's 50% of who they are. So to celebrate and to speak life into that individual is very, very, very important. Yeah. This event gonna cost them anything to come to?
No, it's free.
What?
It's free to all that come.
Right.
Burgers, dog, chips, sodas, T-shirt again for folks that come.
Right.
Entertainment. It's really a day designed. We call it the Father's Day family celebration for a reason. It kind of ends up being kind of like a big family reunion.
So ladies and the kids can come too?
Absolutely.
What?
Absolutely.
So this is not a guys only where you guys just do guy things.
It's family. It's father and family. And that's another thing we need to dispel. A fatherhood initiative is not the antithesis of mothers and families. In fact, they're all inextricably tied. And so we want everybody to come out.
All right. On this Father's Day, what's your wish? What's your wish?
Yeah. I like to be with all my children. That'll be good. I believe that'll happen. Like for them to know that I care and love them. Sometimes daddies, I'm probably an old school daddy, and maybe don't communicate that as much to my own as I should. So my wish is that they would feel my love for them, and even when I'm frustrated with them, and that happens, that love sometimes can be stern, but it's still love. Love can be strong, but it's still love. And so if that's articulated, if that's felt with my children and my wife and my family, it's a good day for me.
All right. David, always good to see you.
You as well.
Thank you. And thank you so much for watching this LAX18 Digital Conversation. For more digital conversations, log on to LAX18.com. And for ways to find out more about the Fatherhood Initiative, be sure to check out LAX18.com. Until next time, I'm Davidson.